Best not miss. What's really good? Shout out to all of my day ones and my stay ones. Definitely in the building, rocking out with us. Know what it is. Yeah. We got heat, people. Jeez. What is this? What is this? What's good with my people? Listen, we definitely have ether over here in the situation. Right? I tied that in. Ether, right? No, we definitely have a hot one tonight, people. I'm definitely going to get right into it. I think that we are unaware of how much we have to fear. I think we have a lot to fear. When we do things, a lot of people don't think in these terms, but when we do things, some of us do. Some people who are involved in business and things like that, we think and we make our moves and our decisions predicated upon the type of reward that decision typically yields, be it good or bad, right? And I think this. I think in the African American community, we've played with a lot of things, people. We've played with a lot of things that we had no business playing with. We've played with a lot of things that weren't our type of thing, right? And I think we're about to see the upward trajectory. I don't think it's going to be long for us to see the repercussions that are coming our way for playing with some of the toys that was presented to us. You know, the crazy part about it is African Americans know better. We know better. We were raised different. We were raised different. We were raised with manners, despite, what you see us being portrayed as today. African Americans have always been raised with dignity, decency, pride for their last names, right? We were raised a certain way. We were raised to, when you call somebody's house, say hello. We were raised to be polite. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You know what's so crazy is how we're so far removed away from our original programming. People don't even know that about us. Wow. They don't even remember. They've never experienced it from us. Yet it's how we were raised. It's how we were raised. And we've strayed so far away from our original intended programming to where we don't recognize it in ourselves. The hooligans that they say we are, we can kind of agree to it. We can kind of agree to it. We're doing it. We've taken on a life that had nothing to do with us. That's why, I never really wanted to, but I always had to agree with Martin Luther King said, I fear I have led my people into a burning building. Yep, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And now we've lost our identity. Give me a second, people. Rock out with me. Okay. We've lost our identity. We've lost our sense of togetherness. We used to view each other as family, right? Look at us today. We've touched and tasted everything that we had no business touching and tasting. All right, let's get everybody going. Let's go. And that we did. I think none of us saw it coming like it came. None of us, I think when things start going wrong, we look for what we actually desire booms. We desire that. That's when we really know that something's went wrong. When we see explosions and things like that. But we don't often pick up on subtleties. We don't often pick up when things have been subtly snuck up on us. Shout out to my TikTok people over here and my Instagram people. Listen, there's a new trend that's going on. We are inside the soft boy era. We are inside the soft boy era. Listen, it's gotten so deep. Listen, there's no doubt about it. We as African Americans, we do have a lot of work to do in repairing our image. Give me a second. Let me show you guys something. Give me a second here. Give me a second. We've played with so many things that had nothing to do with us to where we don't realize that we are now currently upon the repercussions. People, I'm going to say this, we're losing this fight. They're coming in from all angles, right? And they're utilizing trends, promotions, celebrities, music, entertainment, and social media. They really tricked men into trading roles with women and viewing it as if there's nothing wrong with it. Never mind people's personal lives for a second. Do you guys understand the ramifications? You know what? We might as well go ahead and play the clips. Let's go ahead and get to this thing, people. Those of you who are on TikTok, those of you who want to see the show and the clips, I've told you guys, make it on over here to YouTube. Matter of fact, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Well, a few seconds. Those of you who want to see the show and the videos that go with the show, you might want to make it on over here to YouTube at The Real Stacey Prince. Let's get to it.
You are what they call like a feminine man.
Yes, a feminine man that dates women.
That dates women, but you don't date men.
You know what? In high school, people always put this gay stigma on me, but I never really resonated with it and it never matched my lifestyle. I just felt like I always was attracted to women.
But you're just like looking like a woman. I'm just asking.
No. I don't feel like I like looking like a woman. I feel like I balance my energies well. Like sometimes I feel like I want to tap more into my masculine side. Sometimes I want to tap more into my feminine side. But I just combine them both with my personality and my style.
But you didn't answer the question. Have you ever dated men before?
Men have tried to talk to me. At one point in high school.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, all the time in my DM. At one point in high school, you know how society is. Like, at one point I felt like I needed to fit that stereotype because it was so much pressure. Everybody was always like, you gay, CC, F word, F slur.
Oh, like, wow. So, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I always felt like I had to fit that mold. Mm-hmm. And in high school, I had to find myself. Like, I was like 17, 18. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like, I felt like I had to fit that stereotype. But later on, after I graduated, I realized that it wasn't me.
So you kissed a boy and you didn't like it?
No.
Okay.
No.
And that song got in my head. I kissed a girl and I like. So then I started thinking, I was like, so you kissed the boy and you didn't like it?
No.
So you did kiss a boy?
Somebody was trying to put me on.
Oh, like, what you mean put you on?
Basically, like, let me put you on this person. So, like I said, I felt like I had to fit the stereotype. And I was like, let me do this. Like, so I tried it. I didn't like it at all. Like,
So did you go past first base?
no, like just the conversation overall. Probably like,
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about today, there's a new thing that I kind of associate with the nail in the coffin to the black community. These boys have taken on to this trend of boys relinquishing their masculine traits and deciding to live inside of their feminine. I'm talking about heterosexual men.
going out to Five Guys and eating some burgers or something like that. And I just realized it wasn't for me. I honestly feel like I resonated more with my homegirls.
When you're on the date with this guy, you guys end up kissing though.
Mm-mm.
So you never kissed the guy. Oh, so that's what I was asking you.
Mm-mm.
So basically, I guess for you, like kissing is like, I tried it, but it's not for me. Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, it came close, but it just wasn't for me.
It wasn't
Like,
for you.
I just felt like, you know how like that intuition just kick in, like before you about to do something that you think you should do, but you not. I don't know how to say it, but you know, like I just felt like it wasn't for me.
All right, people, this is what we're talking about today. You know, as if the black community needed any more assaults on it. As if the black community needed any more assaults. The black community has touched and tasted so many things that we had no business touching and tasting, to where we really only needed to touch and taste one more thing before the next thing became the thing that was too much. That's where we're pretty much at right now. The black community has touched and tasted so many things to where we're in trouble. We're definitely in trouble. We're disorganized. We're not unified. We don't know who we are. Give me a second, people. Jeez. Oh, that's what happened. Get rid of that. Right. There we go. There we go. And we're extremely vulnerable to any type of attack. And we're being attacked right now. Listen, never mind people's personal lives for a second. Do you understand the ramifications, what the ramifications will be from a societal standpoint if men trade places with the women? It's like I almost guess it's a good thing that here soon there'll be more robots than humans. Because at the rate that things are going, human beings themselves are becoming dysfunctional. I don't really have all of the thoughts right now of all of the repercussions. That's the scary part. I don't even think people fully understand what's coming behind all of this. Listen, when I tell you that the nail is pretty much in the coffin for the black community, not much more is needed to wipe this thing on out. And people can get offended by that statement all they want to. But offenses don't stop consequences. They seem to have no problem influencing us to touch all of the things we have absolutely no business touching. None. They can get us to follow all manner of things that are dangerous to the preservation of life. Dangerous to families, dangerous to structure, dangerous to children, dangerous to morality, dangerous to discipline. We're relinquishing and shedding off all of the most important aspects and elements that cause human beings to be able to thrive and survive. It's just play, play, play. We just desire fun. Anything that brings instant pleasure. We're all about that life. Let's go.
Yes, I was born a femboy. No, I'm not forcing my voice. No, I do not want to be a girl, nor am I trying to be one. And stop pressuring me to transition and accept the fact that feminine men exist. Being a feminine man or boy is not performance, it's self-expression. Y'all get a kick out of shitting on femboys and invalidating their identity by saying things like, oh, you're confused or just transition already. When in reality, the only people that are confused are the people that can't accept diversity in men. Some men are soft-spoken, some men walk with grace. Some men like fashion, color, makeup, and that doesn't make them any less of a man. Some men like lip gloss, lashes, nails, earrings, etc. Masculinity and femininity are spectrums, not boxes. voices, boo. Flamboyance is often a rebellion against the box that society has tried to shove men into. Being feminine is not only a part of my nature, it's a huge fuck you to the society that told me that my identity is something that I should hide or suppress. Some people, regardless of sexuality, are more expressive, more empathetic, or more artistic. These things shows up in movement, style, mannerism, things of that nature. Voice tone, that explains the feminine voice, okay? That's not being forced. Hello? Men with shorter or thinner vocal cords tend to have higher voices. This is a part of biological variation. So trying to argue that femboys are forcing their voice when that can be something that's literally biologically out of their control, it just shows the irrelevancy and the uneducation that you have on biology. And if I wanted to transition to a woman, you will be seeing the most fab bombshell on your screen you've ever seen, baby. I'm a grown-ass man with long hair, lip gloss, and lashes, and what the fuck about it? That doesn't make me any less of a man. Say it with me, y'all. Men can be feminine. Clock that one.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying to you guys. Give me 1 second to get this thing back. Take that. Flip camera. This is what I'm telling you guys. It may, because we didn't hear an atom bomb go off, or because we didn't see this flying all across the news, make no mistake at the catastrophic repercussions that comes behind something like this. When men developed the ability to feel like there's nothing wrong with living their life in their feminine, what type of society do we leave behind? Imagine being able to convince an enemy to destroy himself for you. Shout out to my people down here rocking out with us. Ro definitely setting off the super chat. Is it possible to come back from this downfall? No, and I want you to pay attention to the show. I want you to pay attention to the show because we're definitely about to address that. You know, think about this. You remember, you guys, well, let's just say CD players. You guys remember CD players? And it's not just CD players. It's pretty much anything that we get. How it's pretty simple to put things together, right? But you take a CD player, one of the, whatever, if you take a 52-inch screen TV and you slam it on the ground, do you know how difficult it is to fix that thing? Once damage has been done, in a lot of instances, the fix gets very, very complicated. Put the TV together. It's not that complicated. Put it together. See, because you're putting it together with ingenuity in a way to where it makes it to where you can open it back up and you can do all of the things that you need to. That's how you do when you're moving strategically. But when you slam that 52-inch screen TV on the ground, there is just only so much fixing that can be done outside of a new TV. Look at all that the black community has taken in. Hey, TikTok, I need you guys to tap that screen, get us up to 20,000 likes. We won't even hold the show open for this many. Yeah, we're not doing like that. Not for the hottest show online. I need you guys to tap the screen, get us up to 20,000 likes. Instagram, show some love, and give us some likes for the video. I think, you know, we are at a scary place. We're at a very scary place. Imagine being able to convince an enemy of yours to destroy themselves for you. Think about that. No war, no invasion, no army, just influence, just trends, just music, just entertainment, and just social engineering, and people voluntarily participating in their own destruction while calling it freedom. We are participating in our own destruction. They don't listen, we don't have a woman of our own. They convinced our own women to turn against us and view us as the enemy. They convinced LeBron James to wear a purse. You guys don't understand the massive power associated with marketing and branding. It is modern day hypnosis. I have said that several times. I'm beginning to think, as it pertains to the black community, I'm beginning to think that where we are currently is every man for himself. Because as a group, this group of people can't be salvaged in its current condition. Not if everything keeps being celebrated. Not if nothing gets corrected. Not if accountability never matters. What just happened? Whoa, that was a little funky. We are definitely in a lot of trouble. And the crazy part is, people won't see it until they see it. Other people see it before it happens. Other people can see it before it. All right, TikTok. Listen, we're about to go on and shut the TikTok down. If we don't have a few thousand likes in the next couple minutes, like, we're gonna go ahead and shut the TikTok down. There's no need in even having this up. We definitely do not move like this. Tap the screen. We're definitely in a lot of trouble. And there's only certain kinds of people who can see it. Shout out to my girl Lena, showing love to the show with the $10 cash app, my girl. You know, and we have to talk about these things. You know, there's people like Anton Daniels, and people like, you know, I don't want to name any more names, but they can't help the black community. They are no good to the black community because they can't get up here and speak like this, because it will turn their white fan base off. It's where all of their money comes from. In the African American community, when you push education and things like that, you don't get a lot of people to support the show, because black people, we typically don't read books. A lot of black people don't. And where there's knowledge, there's a little bit of boredom and things like that, right? But now when you have a massive white audience, you're going to get coins in. The super chats will be lit up. But if you ever speak the truth, it will offend your white base. There are some whites who won't get offended. I saw some whites who, you know, I'm not going to make it seem like it's a large number, but I saw some whites who, they actually acknowledge the things that they hear, and they're like, no, that did happen. And they are set back a lot, right? But that's the majority of white Americans that I've encountered. It's almost similar to when we get on these women about dressing like Jezebels and having all of these kids. The lack of accountability gets so ferocious to where it turns into offense. I honestly think people had better start planning their exit from the black community now. And when I say that, I'm not necessarily talking about physically leaving black people, right? But what I'm telling you is, it's time that you put some distance between you and what is referred to as the black community, because the black community has massive amounts of repercussions and karma coming to them. I'm talking about mentally separating yourself from this destructive culture, separating yourself from the dysfunction of it, separating yourself from all of the chaos that it embodies. Because a lot of bad things are headed towards the black community. A lot. We've been influenced and led into a burning building of repercussions. And most black people still don't even realize the building is on fire. Listen, we don't have our own grocery stores. We have nothing going for us. We have nothing going for us. We're not building anything. We have nothing of significance going on. And even in the midst of that, we are a divided people. We're being remote controlled from the outside by mere marketing and promotion campaigns and new trends that people decide to set in front of us. Our women look barely recognizable. They look a lot more like things than classy women, mothers, grandmothers, they don't look like that. We have been drugged down the cheese grater. You guys need to know this. We have been drugged down the cheese grater. And it's I want to say it's not going to take much to finish us off, but I think we're already finished. We have to wait this thing out at this point. We have no defenses against any type of attacks. All of the things that we partake in are far outside of what's normal and what's natural, far outside. And nobody wants to say it because they're afraid. They're afraid of backlash. They're afraid of being attacked, afraid of criticism. But something is clearly wrong. At this point, I really don't want to say anything other than keep your eyes open. Pay attention to shifts. Pay attention to what keeps getting promoted, because these are the nails in the coffin for the Black community. Pay attention to what society keeps trying to normalize. And most important, what you see getting heavy push in the Black community direction. I'm telling you, start working on putting space between yourself and all of the repercussions that the Black community has coming for it, for gravitating so far outside of humanity. We definitely have repercussions coming, because consequences always come. They always come. I think it's been proven at this point that there's not much that they can't get us to do. There's not much that they can't get us to do. They have LeBron James carrying a purse, Russell Westbrook wearing skirts, our men developing burning desires for each other like it's something that's natural, right? And I'm talking about in a very natural way, like to the extent of looking at you like you're crazy for not partaking, right?
I'm Danny, and I'm a masculine woman who married a feminine presenting man.
I'm James, and I'm a femme-ish man that married a masculine woman.
I think you guys aren't understanding what I'm saying here. What I'm telling you is there's a new thing. Men embodying their feminine. Heterosexual men, not gay men. Heterosexual men choosing to live in the feminine part of them and suppress the masculine part, even to the extent of willing to live the life of femininity and get into a relationship with a masculine woman. This is what I'm telling you guys. Ro Ram over here in this situation, rocking out with us on TikTok, supporting the show. I appreciate the love, Ro. Listen, there's not much more that's needed. There's not much more that's needed to tip us on over.
I identify as straight, although it's questioned by pretty much everybody in my comments all the time. But it's like, they don't really know me. I would say
I'm Danny, and I'm a masculine woman who married a feminine presenting man.
I'm James, and I'm a femme-ish man that married a masculine woman. I identify as straight, although it's questioned by pretty much everybody in my comments all the time. But it's like, they don't really know me. I would say Danny is probably the most feminine, masculine presenting woman that I've ever been with. My thing is, I still want to be with a woman. I like the fact that she's in touch with her femininity. So we met. At the time, I was doing TikTok lives. We started talking and chatting it up, and then...
Again, this is not a gay man. This is a heterosexual man who is choosing to live in his feminine. Boy, they did a number on.
And what, like a month later, I flew to Kentucky, and then we hung out for 4 days, got married. 9 times out of 10, I'm the one that's gonna catch the eye of the public. So it's mostly like, is he really with her? Like, is this a couple? Are they friends? Or is he with her as a cover-up?
Usually when we're walking by, they'll stop and stare at him, and I'll give them an ugly look because I don't like it, because I know they're judging him.
But I mean, look at us, we're gorgeous. Why wouldn't you stare?
I'm Danny.
This is real. This is real. And you guys, listen, you need to pay attention because we're controlled and owned by influence. And they've found a way to harness influence at concentrated levels, no different than a bullet hitting you. Our men are developing burning desires for other men. And society tells you that if you question any of it, you're the problem. No, maybe the real problem is people no longer recognize disorder when they see it. When we as a community, black people, we've been full level infiltrated. We've been eaten from the inside out, and it happened slowly, trend by trend, song by song, celebrity by celebrity, generation by generation. To where, look at us. We've been persuaded to partake in the evils that are usually practiced by other communities. And now many people in the black community have taken on that very lifestyle themselves. That's the scary part. Not only have we gotten very far outside of the morals of that black people used to be raised in, we've completely forgotten them. We don't even recognize them. In the black community, there used to be shame attached to certain behavior. There used to be standards. There used to be structure. There used to be boundaries. There used to be pride for one's last name. Right? We had pride about our last names. We were raised with morals. We were told when you call somebody's house, make sure the first thing you say is hello instead of is Tommy there? Right? Now anything goes. Everything is celebrated. Nothing is corrected. And when a people lose their ability to correct themselves, destruction follows shortly thereafter. The black community had better prepare for a very massive blow. The black community should be getting ready for a massive blow right now because it's coming. There's going to even be a racial attack advanced towards black people. They're gearing it up right now. Why do you see all of these social media platforms letting people like Chud the Builder and people like that run around saying NIGGR, hard R? They're allowing them. They're promoting it. They're encouraging it. And then they're pushing tons and tons and tons of the negative videos of us stealing at a Dollar General or something like that all throughout social media so that you can allow society itself to develop a hatred for us so that when an attack comes, there will be nobody to have empathy for us. We're in a very bad position. And listen, attack wouldn't be so bad if we were unified. We don't like each other. We don't like each other. When people lose the ability to correct themselves, when they err, destruction follows shortly thereafter. And I'm telling you guys right now, black people, you guys had better, even in your communities, you'd better get close with other neighbors who are the same race of you because you are going to need companions for when things get really, really bad. You're going to need to be close by a unit of people who care for each other. When it comes, that's typically when people are trying to prepare. But it's too late. It came. All of this is happening because we're partaking in everything that presents itself as a handicap without economic stability to protect ourselves from the things that karma is going to bring our way. We're partaking in everything that usually causes repercussions to come up on people. And we don't even have the economic stability to protect ourselves when karma comes a-knocking. Not to say you can hide from karma, but you can pad the blow some if you got a system in place. That's another part that nobody wants to talk about. Other people can survive dysfunction longer because they have economic cushions. We do not. We are playing with fire without protection. And karma does not care about feelings. Karma responds to actions. And we've been misbehaving at very high levels. Almost, I guess you could associate it with witchcraft. Give me a second, people. You know we got work to do. That's pretty much, to be honest, I don't even know why I said you could call it that. That's what we've been doing. We've been playing with witchcraft. I honestly believe consequences are headed toward this community very hard. Very hard. Because we've taken on other people's evil practices and beliefs and basically turning ourselves into them. We used to laugh at people for doing certain things. We used to mock people for doing certain things, practicing certain immoral behaviors, things that we knew were wrong that they did. We used to point at certain lifestyles and say, we don't do that. It's not something that we do. And now, a lot of black people in the black community have taken on that very lifestyle themselves. And nobody seems alarmed enough. Everything is entertainment now. Everything is jokes. Everything is memes now. Meanwhile, in the black community, we are currently working on setting back the 6th generation to come behind us. We've already made it hard for the generation who's coming directly behind us and the generation that's coming behind them, and quite possibly the third. The damage that we're doing is going to reach back to the 6th generation that is coming up behind us. We will have handicapped them. We will have made it very, very hard for them to look at us. Look at us. All right, we up out of here, Instagram. Viewership done got too low, so we got to go. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us. If you want to come over here and check the show out on YouTube, come rock with us. They've definitely done a number on us. I'm not really going to keep saying it like, they're to blame. We partook in it. Shout out to Lovelace in this situation, showing love to the show. Let me see, what was that about? It said BS. I appreciate the love, AJ. Lovelace over here showing some more love. Just like many preachers in many ways, some churches have failed people because they have moved away from God's original. Yeah. That's what started our downward slope. That's what did it. We weren't suffering more when we were closer to our faith. We were doing better. My brother said, there's no straight male feminite. These ninjas, G-A-Y, have to spell it wrong so the super chat accepts it. I just think, man, we're participating in just whatever. I appreciate the love. AJ over here rocking with us again. You can't act that GAY without actually being GAY. He's openly in the closet. There's probably some truth to that. Something has happened. Probably some truth to that. Shout out to my brother Lee over here supporting the show with the super chat. I appreciate you. Shout out to Ishmael over here rocking out with us. Our boys are emulating their single moms. We lose. That's a fact. That's a fact. Listen, these boys in the black community don't stand a chance. First and foremost, they're already pretty much 75% of their masculinity and their ability to develop into the masculine is already fractured by 75% just being raised by a woman, right? And then you throw this type of propaganda on top of it. You pay LeBron James to let all of our boys see him carrying a purse. Russell Westbrook wearing a skirt. Right? Woo! Boy, what was done to us was done to us. If you don't know anything else, you better know that you are hated. You better know that. For someone to put this type of time, money, marketing, and things like that into making sure that you are handicapped and mentally paralyzed, you are hated. You better know that. There's a lot of effort. We're talking about millions and billions of dollars have been going into camp. Listen, you can look this up on Grok, Claude, ChatGPT. You can look this up. They'll lay out the systems that receive funding to keep blacks from advancing. They don't hide it. Planned Parenthood is like, it's what it was said to be created for. Shout out to Ro over here supporting us on TikTok, getting those likes up for us. I just don't know what to say. Only thing that I can tell you is if you ever want to know what it looks like to get far away from God, look at the black community. Look at the black community. Men no longer want to lead. Women no longer want to follow. But I'm not going to put that out there. I know that this is a small number because most men in the black community are still men, right? Some have been infiltrated. I'll say probably at a 15% rate. But when you see the effort that is being put into dismantling black men, it's vicious. Families are breaking down. Women no longer want to follow. Children are growing up confused. Masculinity is under attack. Discipline is under attack. You go to jail for disciplining your child now. Order is under attack. And somehow people in the black community still think that this ends well. People, it does not end well. History already shows us what happens when societies lose structure, morality, right? Masculinity, discipline, and family order. This is not new. And what trips me out is how fast things are accelerating now. Every year, things become more extreme. Every year, lines become more blurred and easier to cross. Lines that we're not supposed to cross. Every year, people drift further away from what's natural. And the people who are warning about it are viewed as villains. Right? But people always hate warnings right before the consequences arrive. They always do. And I believe consequences are here. Socially, economically, spiritually, psychologically. Look at the black community. It's like one big dark cloud. One big dark cloud. And I'm not talking about, there's a couple of different black communities. Black communities who are thriving and were raised in two-parent households, things like that. They're pretty much living how we're supposed to be living. But the man-made version of black culture, it has swept through a multitude of pockets in the entire African American race in America. And now you have even white women who were raised in Beverly Hills, white kids who were raised in Beverly Hills have been contaminated by this so-called black culture thing. They're wearing the long ratchet ghetto nails, right? They're talking about period and things like that. This thing about the black community that has attached itself to us, that thing is vicious. Confusion. If you look around in the black community, all you see is confusion. And confusion eventually creates collapse. You cannot build strong communities on top of confusion. You cannot build strong families on top of confusion. You cannot build strong men on top of confusion. And you definitely can not create women who are suitable wives on top of confusion. And if you can't create women who are suitable wives, and if you can't create men who are leaders, you definitely cannot build a future on it. People, you better wake up. Pay attention. Stop blindly following every trend that jumps across your social media, even the dances. Stop allowing celebrities and entertainment to shape your morality. Because not everything that's promoted to you is designed to help you. I'd say the majority of it's not. Some things are designed to weaken you and fracture your defense system so that the real blow can come in and finish you off. And honestly, I think that we are watching it happen to the black community in real time. In real time. I'm going to tell you what's really crazy about it. Most people still think that all that we're seeing is normal. They have no clue how far. They have no clue how far we've stretched and blurred the lines from what's right and what's wrong. See, right and wrong both bring repercussions, some good, some bad. But when you're playing in the sandbox of wrong all the time, where you increase, not only do you increase the odds of getting some wrong repercussions, but you expedite it. Shout out to Ishmael over here showing love to us. The most effective amongst the devils is the one that can destroy the desire to achieve and maintain a traditional marriage. Yep. Our women are our enemies. Ain't that something? Can you even fathom something like that? How on God's planet were they able to trick our women into viewing us as the enemy? It definitely did a number on us. I want to show you guys something that I didn't show you. Let me see something here. That. we might as well go ahead and, set it off. Maybe it won't let us. Doesn't look like it will. Hold on, is that supposed to be like that? Hold on. I think I had already had that. Let me see here. Let me see something. Let me see something here. Maybe I do have it. I think I do. I have it? Do I have it? Let's go.
Do you have to choose between business and family?
Yes, especially for the men that I date. So let me be clear, because I'm very clear. I believe a woman should be feminine, and I believe a man should be masculine. And I feel like we've gotten to a space where the roles are inverted. Now men are much more feminine and females are much more masculine.
No, I don't agree with that.
I mean, you got to look at it. You got to think about the statistics.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. I don't think any men should be okay wearing skinny jeans knowing that it accentuates your curves. Men aren't really supposed to feel comfortable with that.
Of how many black mothers are raising their sons by themselves, and so it's not by a desire, it's a necessity. You've got to show that, be the breadwinner. You've got to go to work. You've got to raise those children. You've got to pay the bills. And so I can understand why that's happening, especially to our people. But I also feel like it's so important to understand, like, what is most important inside of what it is that we're choosing, and can you choose?
She's not lying. She's not lying. Our boys don't resemble anything that looks like it's going to grow up and be one of the uncles that we used to have. They will never resemble what our grandfathers used to look like. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and say that with evolution, a lot of things are going to change, things of that nature. But had we kept our teachings and our morals intact, that's one thing that wouldn't change. That's one thing that wouldn't change. You see in these other shout out to Lady Di over here rocking out with us. My brother ZF over here keeping the order. London definitely in the building. Let me see something I know it's not going to let me send it to you guys, but boom, boom. Nope, don't do that. Do this, stop it, stupid. Doom. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, it's not, you know what? No, it's not going to let me send you guys anything. Make sure I got all my brothers. Boom, there we go. Get this off soon as I can. That thing just kicked on by itself. Let me show you guys something. Okay, let's get to it. You will see that people are saying the same thing. A lot of people are saying the same thing.
Women are the new men, and men are the new women.
I'm not letting you do that.
I swear to, listen,
I'm not letting you do it.
listen.
Do you hear what she just said? She said women are the new men and men are the new women. I'm done.
I told y'all rare breed of men.
You hear what she said? You guys are a rare breed of men, and we know it. Look at what Fresh and Fit are able to get away with. people have a legion of women trapped in boys' bodies. They reek of it. They show up at the same show. Millions, hundreds, tens of thousands show up at this one platform every day so they can hear two feminine moving men call young girls bitchs and kick them out of the podcast. I can't name one masculine man who I know, who I respect, who would watch Fresh and Fit. I can't name it. None of them do. Nobody I'm associated with does. Nobody I'm associated with does. Because that show's not for men. Fresh and Fit is not for men. It's for people who need excuses as to why they didn't do well with women. You don't do well with women because you're one of the type who doesn't do well with women. How about that? And that is a place of refuge where you can go and pretend that it's the women's fault that women aren't attracted to you. But men don't move like that. Men bump their heads and get back to the drawing board. Men figure out what they're doing wrong in a lot of instances. How do you think we're able to fix cars and things like that? How do you think we're able to fix cars? It's because we don't stop. We identify problems and we fix them. The same way you're supposed to do with yourself. If you're not doing well with women, that's a you issue, but we're not going to get into that.
A lot of people.
We talk about, come on, it's 3 of y'all. All of us ladies.
So you think every nigga you meet is just a pussy ass nigga?
I never said every nigga. I said women are the new men and men are the new women.
What does that mean?
The roles have been reversed.
I know what she's saying though.
You guys, y'all gotta understand.
You know what she said because you got an album about to drop.
I don't want to be a man.
But y'all see why y'all so special?
I just want everybody to know I do got an album about to drop.
I don't want to be a man. Do you want to be a man?
And the album cover is pink.
Do you want to be a man?
And it's songs for women.
And I just had a single drop.
You understand?
I just had a single drop like 30 minutes ago.
These women are telling these fellas, listen, y'all rare. And we know they are. Especially in the black community. What women love about black men is it's the dysfunction and the violence that is associated and attached to black men. It's the last remnants of anything that resembles masculinity because it's being wiped out of America. You're being viewed as a villain if you're proud to be a masculine man in America. Right? We all know it's true. Even the women don't have respect for the caliber of men that men are.
If I was with a guy, I couldn't be with a...
Women in America do not have respect for the caliber of men that men are being forced to become. I'm not going to say being forced, but there's a lot of influence behind it. Check this out.
If I was with a guy, I couldn't be with a masculine man because I'm masculine. I would really want him to be feminine. I would want him to shut the fuck up and cook and clean.
That's why so many people, listen. I do have some amazing things in works, like shout out to Ro over here supporting us on TikTok. Showing love. I really can't even talk too much about it, but I'm going to be able to put a small dent in all of this. This is an attack unlike anything that we're familiar with, where you're literally being made to be shamed for moving like a masculine man. It's crazy. It's beyond insane. And there's typically motives behind it. There's a reason behind it. There's a benefit to it. Maybe not to you or I, but there's a benefit to it. I appreciate this mouth over here showing some love. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Definitely do. Listen, those of you who are not members of the show, you need to become members of the show to see all of the old exclusive content that we have. The best, the hottest interviews that we've done. You can't see them if you're not a member. I think to become a member is $2.99 a month. Who is this? What's going on? What's going on down here? What? He said Kevin Samuels went on Fresh and Fit. You don't respect him either? That's why they weren't friends anymore. No, real. Here, I guarantee you this is a fact. I guarantee this. Out of the million subscribers they have, listen, you won't catch a real man really watching Fresh and Fit. A man who is respected by other masculine men, a man who has been popular at one point in time in his life, a man who is known that he does well with women, he does well in life, they're not watching Fresh and Fit. I'm telling you this. I feel GAY when I watch them. I know that this is mediocre. These two men do not do well with women. They're nervous. Myron is loaded so full of hate due to his desire to have a woman, but his inability to achieve it, and he's a millionaire. Who on God's earth would want their son growing up like Myron Gaines? Look at Fresh. Are you kidding me? I know I didn't read that right. Maybe I didn't read that right. Kevin Samuels went on there and he stopped messing with them. No real masculine man outside of business can sit there and indulge on Fresh and Fit content. Now, I'll say this. Myron Gaines is an intelligent man and he can give you information from an intellectual, from a logical standpoint. Boy gets on top of girl, pump, 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 baby occurs. That's logical, right? But dating, it goes beyond logical. Because there's unforeseen factors that come into play in dating. Myron can't tell you what to do when you get nervous when you're talking to a woman because he doesn't do well with women. Myron can't tell you how to dress when you're going on dates because he dresses terrible. He wears blue jeans and old tennis shoes and beat up shirts everywhere he goes. And he has the money to do better. It's just not in here, and it's not in here. Listen, I used to watch Fresh and Fit when they first started. I couldn't keep watching it though. I felt GAY. I'm like, nah, they calling girls, young girls, BITCHs? This is a bit weird. Men don't move like that. Contrary to what social media would have you guys to think, men are actually respectful. Masculine men tend to be respectful. Will they cheat or things like that? Yeah, but how do you think we bring ourselves to the place where we're willing to risk the only life that we have for the woman we've pledged ourselves to? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I can't believe that there's one person in America who watches Fresh and Fit. I'm dead serious. Myron, I'm going to say it again. He's intelligent and he can make logical sense. But to watch him from a dating perspective, what could Myron Gaines or Walter do for you? They do really bad with women. Women don't like fresh and fit. So if nothing else, listen, if nothing else, they can teach you what women don't like in a man. That's a fact. These are multimillionaires who can't get women to desire to be in relationships with them. And I'm going to say this to any of the brothers down there. I'm going to say this to any of the brothers. Listen, don't you take on the notion that you got to call women bitchs and say, "Where's my food? Go fix me a sandwich," in order to be a masculine man. That's that hateful red pill content. You get a woman to give you her all by being something that she would be scared to not have in her life, which means you're going to have to be good to her too. We are in a place where it is being promoted. He said, "I don't need any content creators to help me with women at all." Well, how are you so familiar with Fresh and Fit to the point where people speaking on them offends you? Maybe I missed something. But yeah, listen, while we're on it, I don't want you brothers to develop hatred for women. London, I've said that before. I mean, I don't think that they are down low. But I think with Myron, maybe he's had a curious moment because they have that footage of Myron in that, I don't know if it's a college dorm or what, and the guys are pumping and, yeah, on the bed. You can call it joking or what you want to, but men don't joke like that. We fight about that stuff. We fight about that stuff. We get serious right away about that stuff. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I misunderstood that guy. Maybe I misunderstood. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have been hurt by Fresh and Fit's content. A lot of people. There's hundreds of thousands of people who have been hurt. And when I say hurt, I'm talking about in their development. In their development, they've been hurt and they don't even know it. So they'll carry the broken information that they've been injected with. They don't even know that they needed to discard that information right away. You got to call girls bitchs to prove you're tough, but then there's a guy who shows up at your door one day, the guy you used to be in business with, and he's telling you to come outside, let's do a fair one, but you won't go outside with him, but you kick girls out of the thing all the time and call these bitchs. No men should be watching that. That can't benefit you. It cannot benefit you to see another grown man calling like 17 and 21-year-old girls bitchs. That's along the lines of predatory behavior, to be honest. If you can even get comfortable doing that. I appreciate the love, bro. Ram been over here setting it off. Love Haitian in the building. She said, do you think they on the down low? See, and I'm telling you something else. Women won't say that about men. A man, listen, that's why I say, I want to say this to all of you. Let's go. Turbulence, people. For those of you who don't know, listen, let's get this straight now. With men, and I'm talking about real men, we don't look at the bisexual thing. We don't look at it. We believe if another man will touch another man in any way, we don't care if you'll touch a woman too, you're GAY. If you have affinities towards other men and you've ever acted out on it, you're GAY. Right? So this thing of getting it confused how a man behaves opposed to anything else, it's very difficult to get that confused. Men act like men. In my personal opinion, men have been in 2 or 3 fist fights before in their life, but that's not a 100%er. Some men have somehow avoided that part of men's typical upbringing, but men stand their ground, right? And I'm not talking about always some form of violence. I'm talking about men stand their ground against women. With the type of men we're talking about, London wouldn't even ask that question about the type of men that we're talking about. Straight, masculine, heterosexual men, it's very difficult. Now, I've heard things, but it's very difficult for those men to be mistaken for GAY. There is a such thing as down low, and I don't know. I've heard that there's even gangbangers who, you know what I mean? But for the most part, a man looks like a man. A man looks like a man. And listen, even the down low ones, I'm not going to go down that hole. No Diddy. Do I feel the same about Tate? I don't really like Andrew Tate. He's a grifter. You know, he tried to promote some stuff. He started playing that half black card. Then once racism started going nuts on the internet, he got on there and tried to promote and get whites to rally up and attack blacks. You know what I mean? Saying that white people have their spine, that they know who the enemy is in America. They know who's doing. He went on Piers Morgan and was just talking crazy about black people. So, you know, I used to have respect for him, but, you know, I've seen him. One thing I do respect is I forget who he got in the boxing ring. I'm giving respect to anybody who gets in that ring. That's just what that is. I don't like Andrew Tate, but I do respect that he got in that boxing ring. He got beat down, but he got in that boxing ring. And he's in shape. I'm going to always respect a man who is in shape. It tells you a lot about an individual. But his morals and his integrity are, you know, they're unstable. Is it true from your perspective men really won't argue with women? No. In my opinion, that's what women do. Women have taken that on and started saying that so that they can pretty much win any argument and say anything to men, and men just shut up and concede, right? Because what you guys view as arguing, we view as different. A lot of times we're trying to get some understanding, right? It doesn't have to always be arguing. Let me see something. It's communicating. Arguing is the act of presenting reasons, evidence, or facts to support or oppose. And that's what it is. You guys are using the wrong word, because arguing is what we should be doing. Look, arguing is the act of presenting reasons, evidence, or facts to support or oppose a claim, or to engage in a dispute through conflicting points. I think you guys would have a point if you were saying hostile, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with a man defending his point of view. I'm not going to let somebody just tell me anything. London, are you going to let somebody tell you just anything? Right? Piss on your head and tell you it's raining outside? I don't think any of us are supposed to do that. You got to let people know that you're in a formidable opponent on an intellectual level. Or at bare minimum, you can't tell me just anything. And I think that that is a ploy to get men to just shut up and accept, whatever someone says to them. Ismail over here supporting the show. I appreciate the super chat. Pico over here rocking with us. I appreciate the support, bro. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, London. Now, I don't believe a man should be arguing and yelling and cussing with a woman. I believe a man is going to shut that whole thing down before it even reaches that point. That's what I believe. But I'll say this, men aren't perfect. Men can have our times to where you get us just as fired up as you are. We're human beings. We're not called upon to be doormats. We're not called upon, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're human beings. But I think a man should be able to defuse situations and control situations. I do believe that. I believe hopefully he can get his temper to subside. And then look, we're not going to be arguing, especially if it's a relationship. Put that in check. Yeah, I saw the viral video of the black high schoolers that couldn't read, but we already knew that. It is so bad to be raised by a single parent mom. Like, it's like we have common sense when we want to have it. Like, what good do you think would come out of a pit bull, a newborn pit bull pup being raised by an adult cat? What do you think would happen with that? We are not supposed to be raised by women. We are supposed to endure some hardships. In some cases, we are supposed to rise up against our dad one day when we think we're done got too big for our britches and get shown the results of that. We are supposed to walk around on needles in our environment to an extent. It's called structure. And you only get that from your father. You only get that from your father. Your mom can give you morals and things like that, but women aren't typically women of principles. Men move around in principles. It's how we acquire certain resources. We have to walk around in a code, things like that. Women can be respectful and things like that, classy things of that nature. But men create structure, and we move around in principle. Outside of it being intentional, there's nobody. You couldn't get anybody to suggest that that'd be a good idea. You couldn't get anybody to suggest that a boy who is supposed to turn into a defender one day should be raised by a feminine woman. Let me say that again. A boy who is supposed to one day turn into a defender a formidable opponent, right, should not be raised by a feminine, soft woman. Should not be raised by a woman, period. The only time a mother comes into play is the duality of it, when she is playing the other half with the father. But the father is mandatory, or we see how the children turn out. He's mandatory. Some of you are like, because my baby just graduated college and he doing just fine. That boy has inadequacies. Maybe they're not as impactful as some others, but he has inadequacies. We're not supposed to be raised by women. We're not.
How you doing?
Hey man, tell me how your night's going, good brother.
Man, Stacy, man, listen, I've been watching your actual content quite some time. I had shared it to a couple of my homeboys. You definitely doing some profounding real stuff, man.
I appreciate the love.
Finally get the time to actually get to chat with you for a bit.
No doubt.
I appreciate you letting me up, man. Listen, Stacy, I do want to say this, right? You know, one of the horsemen who did actually, unalive, which is Mr. Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
He's predicted all of this stuff.
Yep.
Right? People productively, just like Biggie and Tupac made money off this man's product.
Yep.
Instead of trying to give some money back to his family.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I find it very disheartening because nobody knew about what it was about value. The only time I knew about value is something that you prove within yourself.
No doubt. No doubt.
They came down to academics, where they came down to sportsmanship, all that stuff, even into war.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I find it very, very sad that, just like your prompt right here, that a lot of men are not men no more. They're choosing. They're choosing to hang it up. They're choosing to hang up their suits and their ties and their dress shoes, for real.
Yeah, and it's going to come with really, really bad outcome, man. It's going to be. We're not going to even be able to contain it because we already can't contain it. Like, we're already at a war with our women. They tricked our women to view us as the enemy. Now, we got a small segment. I'm not going to lead anybody to believe that it's all black men, because black men are the shit point blank when you get done, right? But they're feeding us trends, and our people are taking on to it, and they're taking on to it because the defender is not in the home. Have you ever noticed when mom is letting the boy walk around in her high heel shoes? They'll be at that, hey, you better get your ass up out of them you put them shoes up. Boys don't wear that shit. We're missing that, brother. See, now the boys are getting to walk in those shoes a little bit longer, and they're starting to get okay with it. So now when they experience something else that they're not supposed to be experiencing, something that is not akin to the masculine nature, the notifications don't go off in their conscience. And they're getting more and more and more and more comfortable doing things that men have no business doing. And then they turn it into trends. Then they get on TikTok and amass very, very large followings. And then they persuade and influence other boys who haven't found themselves yet to walk in that same energy. And it starts to erode at us. It starts to just tear us apart at the seams, man. A community, first and foremost, must have unity. That's not even up for debate. And we have none of it. We can't hear you at all, brother.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't even hear you.
Can you hear me?
Is that me?
Can you hear me?
You going in and out.
Hold on, give me a second. Can you hear me now, Stacey?
Yeah, sounds better.
Stacey, can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds better, brother.
Okay, perfect. All right. So when you say unity, right? The problem is that the man cannot be actually allowed to be the man in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Man's supposed to bring law, ruling, understanding.
Yep.
If I say control, then it's like, oh well, you're misandry and you're trying to be control. See, you notice what I said, right? How I said it because I was going to say control, but a lot of people would now it's so sensitive to the point where when a man says control, it's a form of evil.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's crazy.
How can I protect something and I don't have no control over it? That doesn't even make any absolute sense at all.
You can't.
You understand what I'm saying? That's like if I know that I'm living in my home, these four walls, this is what protects me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to control what actually is bring forth to my house.
Right. You got to be in control. You got to be in control. I don't use these pretty words. I don't let them do that to me. You know, I had one woman up here and I had to I asked her, should her man dictate, be able to interject and influence her decisions when he believes? And she said yes to all of that. But then I asked her, should your man have control over you? No. I looked up the word control and it said to be able to influence someone's decisions.
Thank you. That's it. Now, Stacey, now watch this, right? You see, the comprehension skills is very, very, it's lacking very poorly, very bad. We all went to high school. We all went to middle school. We all went to elementary. We are given these words specifically
right.
we are given these words specifically of what only one definition of that word specifically. Why are we changing these words like these words doesn't have a meaning? What do you think? You see what I'm saying? So Mr. Prince, it's like right now, this is the actual divide that really has conflicted from when people talk about that the man was actually out of the home. Okay, again, but you do realize that you got women actually out here giving their bodies and giving up babies to men that are not even actually accurately a man.
That's what happens. That's what happens. Those things, the worst decisions occur in a woman's life when she is outside of male leadership. Think about it.
Exactly.
Think about all they do. They get trains ran on them, right? They contract herpes and all of these things. They're out here.
Yes.
The hell? They're out here at all manner of night doing everything that especially no woman has any business doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but okay, I know you hear and it comes on your timeline, your FYP page. Spring break. Spring break is literally, it's like the Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Everybody is just looking to just hook up. That's all they're doing. They're just looking to freak and just look for the next victim. That's what they're doing.
But listen, I'm going to tell you what's worse than that. Spring break happens once a year. What you just described happens on a regular every day in the black community.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. 100%.
Just you know, if anybody's bored, let's get up and go. Hey, I'm about to swing through. I got this blunt and this Hennessy. Like we have sex from a recreational standpoint, and I've fallen into that hole before. The only thing is we're doing it as a collective when other communities aren't doing it as a collective. Other communities are actually handling business and doing certain things and then acting a fool. Some of them are having X just like we are. But see, I often tell people this, especially when you hear women say, y'all don't say that stuff about the Kardashians. We aren't even in a socioeconomic position to be able to do what other races can do because they had wheels left to them. They had inheritances. They got put in a better predicament to where they aren't scrapping for time to create success as urgently as we are. They can play around a little bit longer than we can. A lot of us are raised in single parent households. A lot of us are leaving this earth without any type of funeral arrangements planned, having to do GoFundMes. We can't do what other races of people can do. We are actually supposed to be moving in a high level sense of urgency right now. But listen, even that is too late. We've played with too many of their booby traps, and those things are unfolding right now in front of us all. Look at our boys.
Now, Prince, now watch this. You see, people be thinking that we have a lot of time on our hands. We really don't. We are not hourglass.
Better know it.
You understand? And when you said about the different demographics, you see, those different demographics never said anything about control.
Mm-hmm.
They have a structure. It's a difference. You see what I'm saying? It's just wrapped up in a bowl, just look different. You know, it's just a different culture. But do you hear any of those women actually openly saying that my husband actually controls me? No.
Right.
They're living lavishly. They're living comfortably. You understand what I'm saying? Why is it that when it comes down to the black community, it's always about, oh, well, you know, he's trying to control me and you can't tell me what to do. You're not my daddy and all that. Okay, but again, even if your dad, like, even if when it comes down to your father, having a father figure, your father didn't have it all together anyway. When you said about the Chinese and the actual different type of demographic of these other these people that left these wheels of actual business and stuff like that that actually helped their family be built up. Why is it that when it come down to the black community, nothing was left behind?
Because
an old beat up ass truck and a house.
We're being led by women who took a hold to the feminist ideology.
Exactly.
And the government gave them protection from us. African American men were the only things that could control African American women, and the American government helped them escape from us decades ago, and things have not been right ever since.
Now you have chaos.
Mass amounts of chaos, orchestrated chaos. They're trying to set booby traps for black men and everything. Like, at this point, a significant portion of African American women have become the face of white supremacy.
Big time, because of the fact that now it turns around. It looks like the H word, resistance. Now I'm gonna battle the same black man that's supposed to protect me.
That's nuts.
You don't want protection from you don't want protection from me. It's already obvious as it is.
Yeah.
These women out here are lost, and it's 110%. You got women that are speaking out and saying that they don't want to be protected by the same man that they've been raised upon for years. Are you serious?
It has a bad outcome.
Look at your grandfather. Yeah, but look at your grandfather, look at your brothers, and look at your uncles. These are the same black men that raised you in a household that protected you. Did you call those men controlling? No. They had a structure in the household.
Yeah.
But these are the conversations that they will never have.
Well, I think these conversations are going to have to stop. I think it's about time that, like, black men are going to have to choose what direction. There's a significant portion of black men who are unfit to be with us as leaders as well, because they were raised by single parent moms, and these are the ones who are really, really dangerous. They have very low level skills of anything. They probably dropped out of school around 4th grade, things like that. They bred, what no one wants to talk about is African American women over the last 30 years bred some very dangerous individuals who were raised without fathers. They have no hope, even for themselves. Which car? Where we at? Where we at? What's good? What's good? What's good? I could barely hear you, bro. What you got going on? Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Give me 1 second. Talk to me. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is Mael. Brother Stacy, I just wanted to say that me being a Muslim, Orthodox, and seeing the direction where our young men is, it is kind of disturbing that the education that we're getting, I'm 40 years old, and looking back when I was in school, it was seen that we would see that being masculine is bad. It's just things that they put. It seemed like that we were what was wrong with the world, that we're overrunning our communities, that our brand of masculinity was evil, and it was spoiling our girls. And in conjunction with that, to make things even worse, it was made that all the traditional aspects of being a woman, all the traditional aspects of being a girl they adopted, you would make them a second-class citizen. Like, this was being subhuman, tending to your husband, care of your husband, tending to the needs, maintaining a household. That these things were seen being pejorative for being a woman. I don't know, how do you feel about that?
I didn't really get what you're saying. Give me the short version of it.
Okay. Let's see if I can put it this way in an abbreviated form. We were taught that being masculine, any aspect about being masculine was horrible.
Okay, I got all that. I got all that part.
Right. And the second part what I was bringing up is that raising or educating our girls to be raised as traditional women was adversely training them to be second-class citizens. Like that, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, man, listen, man. A lot of that stuff was by design, man. A lot of that stuff was by design, and we fell for all of that stuff, man. We fell for all of that stuff. And listen, we still won't stop because our women are still in control of how the households are ran.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Frank. Let me get your opinion on this. If you can, what was the one event in our sociological past that you could pinpoint that started all this?
Okay. That's actually a really good question. That's a good question. I really desire to say when African American women attached themselves to the feminism movement, which, by the way, had nothing to do with black people's needs and wants. This was something orchestrated by white women, a rebellion against their men to get more perks. But I really gotta say, man, what that 1980s crack epidemic did to us, man, like I just can't really, there was nothing more impactful that happened to us outside of chattel slavery. I think the 1980s crack epidemic, check this out. I think the 1980s crack epidemic, the feminism movement, it started doing damage. I think the 1980s crack epidemic went ahead and kicked the door all the rest of the way down. And here's the bad part about it. The 1980s crack epidemic gave our women their first full doses of real freedom outside of being given Section 8 and things like that. That stuff, the feminism movement, I call the feminism movement and government and system, I kind of call them the same thing because the feminism movement was what black women used to usher out their separation and their desire to be separated from their men. But Section 8 and things like that, that stuff gave them the platform to go ahead and execute the action and get apart from their men. And that's where this started happening. All of the men who they ever thought were cute the whole time they were locked down in relationships and things. Well, when you have your own Section 8 apartment right now, you don't have to sit back and think he and him and him and him is cute. You can actually get laid by them, right? But then immediately after that, the 1980s crack epidemic came, and what government assistance didn't do, boy, that crack epidemic finished it.
But see, this is the thing, that this is a part of my question, Mr. Frank, that point in history, during the 1980s, that was the point of the Reaganomics package, of the socioeconomic package, that incentivized black women to separate from them. What was impetus that voluntarily that they decided to stay in that court?
Okay, listen, I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question very bluntly.
Right.
If we had have never allowed the government into our relationships, even the crack epidemic couldn't have did us like it did. Because we would have still had control over our women. The American government came in and let Why do you think African American women started saying stuff like, I wish you would, your black ass would be in jail? The American government let them know that if we ever went too far in correction with them or anything like that, that they had somebody who would help them escape from us. And here's the bad part. Their escape from us wasn't a good thing. It's like a parent being always telling the babies, don't you play with that light socket, right? Remove that parent away from that house. That small child is going to get into everything that is going to destroy it. That's what happened to African American women once they got outside of our control. We were supposed to have control over them. Our control kept them safe. And if you don't believe me, look at them now that we have no control over them. They have 3 children by 3 different men. They're having profuse levels of sex with men who they don't really know that well. They're out of control.
Yes, but this is what does violence to reason. We're speaking about something sociologically that occurred 40 years ago. People are now, even with all this education, with all this historical fact that we know that this was a systemic issue, why aren't they doing better? Why are now they even falling deeper into the proverbial grave now?
Well, here's what we're battling with.
They know this.
Have you ever seen I Dream of Genie and things like that? Have you ever seen the cartoons and the movies with the genie in it? Do you know that some of those genies have been locked up in those lamps for like hundreds of thousands of years? And then when they finally get a chance to get out of that lamp, do you know how hard it would be to get that genie to go back in that lamp, man? That's black women. That's black women. They're pleasure junkies. They seek nothing but pleasure. They think that if they can grab a bottle of Hennessy anytime they want to, that's going to make them feel good at home. They think that they can call random men to have sex with, that they're just living a pleasurous rap life is what they're living. But all of those things come with high-level repercussions. High-level repercussions, not mid-grain. That's why so many of them have multiple children by multiple different men. And here's one of the repercussions that comes with a woman ending up having multiple children by multiple men. When she starts desiring a real relationship, she doesn't qualify for the type of men that she desires because men don't typically want women who have children. So the things that they end up toying around with and playing with, these things do multi-tier levels of damage to their entire life. And I'm talking about the big picture of their lives. We're all supposed to have somebody who's going to see us through to the end of life. African American women have done so much dating damage to themselves to where not many men want to be with a woman who's been with multitudes of men. Not many quality men want to be with a woman who has multiple children by multiple men. The average weight of an African American woman is 187 pounds. So they don't qualify for quality men, really. But that's all they want is quality men. So what you're going to see is an epidemic proportion of African American women dying alone. And here's what I mean when I say dying alone. Facing all of the roughest and toughest times that life brings to all of us by themselves. That's where they're at.
Okay. Final point, final clarity before I go. This is the thing, once again, that my involvement is promoted. Okay. These generation of girls, they see the mistakes of the past. Matter of fact, they make fun of that mistake. Correct? They've seen their mothers struggle. They've seen mom struggle. They've seen mom going through boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend. And going on through turbulent relationships. I can't fathom who would encourage them to say, hey, I want that. Or see what's going on. Their idols are celebrities. They see what's going on with Cardi B. You see what's going on with Megan Thee Stallion. What would make you say, gee, I want that lifestyle?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's quite unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. There's no reason. But thank you very much for allowing me on the show.
You take care, brother. You take care. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, you know it's true. right, if there's no more questions, I guess we're about to get up out of here. No questions, no disagreements. If you have any questions, you can come on up, or if you have a disagreement with the content. All right, well, we're about to get up out of here, people. I appreciate you guys rocking out with us. Those of you who have not turned your alerts on to know, so you get a reminder every time we're going live, go up and hit that button now. If you have not become a member of the show, hit it, hit it. And listen, I've told you guys, the ladies, your daughters, your nieces, they need this in their life.
Women's first move should be to introduce men they are considering dating to their father, or a man in their family who loves them. Men can deceive women with their allure, but they can't deceive other men, because men have no incentive to ignore red flags the way women do when they're into a man. The Soft Life Dating Course, the blueprint for women who deserve more than situationships, presented by Stacy Prince.
Listen, I highly encourage any of you who have women in your life, if you're a woman yourself and you're single, that dating playbook is a work of art. It really is. It's a work of art. A lot of the things that you guys come to the show to listen to probably ask questions about, there was really a work of art dropped inside of that dating playbook. You guys can go cop it at www.therealstacyprince.com. It is a must-have. It'll get personal with you. You have to be the caliber for that dating playbook. You have to be the caliber of woman who's ready to start getting results, right? Who's ready to say, my way has not been working, so listen, right? You have to be at that point. You have to be at a point to where, like, listen, the times are coming. You are either going to choose to deal with the roughest aspects that life brings to all of us by yourself, or you're going to do what you need to do to get you a partner to wade through life with. People, if we are nothing else, we are out of here.
Oh yeah, no, it's done. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
How much do you weigh?
180.
Goodbye.